So go ahead, let me know I'm a cookie cutter. Tell me I'm a porn addict, it's all true. At least I'm sitting on a great casting couch and I'm not pissing in an empty Mountain Dew bottle in the basement. But I actually thought this was worthy of a video because it's what I've been doing for like the last 2 months, maybe a little over, since I suffered my back injury. I'll tell you why I started on it and kind of relate it to powerlifting as much as possible, because I know the 3 people who are watching this are probably currently powerlifters. I'm looking at you, Keisha, bench only. My diet had pretty much been absolute shit for like 2 or 3 years at least, like even before the injury. After I really tweaked my back pretty badly during a squat set, I had to take some time like completely off from anything, and like my diet kind of got even worse at that point. And I couldn't really do anything at that point either. Like I couldn't even really walk on the treadmill for like a few weeks. After that injury, I ballooned up to like 240, like 240.6. I think was like the absolute highest weight. SS BBW status. Sure, I was at my strongest like just before the injury. I was like a fucking hippo. I just like let it fly for a little, since I was like, damn, I'm as strong as I've ever been. Like, who cares about body weight? This is fun. When I hurt myself and couldn't lift or do anything, I was just like, shit, now I'm just a fat slob. And I was like, I probably have a set time right now of like 2 to 3 months where I'm gonna be taking it easy, rehabbing the back, not competing, not doing any hot powerlifting movements really, nothing like that. Let's make the most out of a bad situation. Let's drop as much body fat as I can during that time period. Let's get to a weight I'm actually comfortable at. And then when the back starts feeling better, when the powerlifting movements are reintroduced again, then I can slowly start a reverse diet. I'll go ahead and show you a few things now, and then at the end of the video, come back and discuss how I think it would impact powerlifting specifically. So I'm gonna go ahead and scramble up these 3 eggs.
I'm not the greatest cook, but I try. I definitely try, and I'm funny as fuck, so.
Kind of mix one white in there with the jumbo brown ones. I don't know how he felt about that. Might be blasphemous. Nice and messy over there. We don't care, we're freaks. This pancetta is pretty good. It's like a, I guess, Italian style bacon. Mix in one of these provolone slices and we'll be good to go. Also gonna add 1 serving of also probably some heavy cream, which I will also show you in a minute. All right, so here we have Chipotle, very simple.
I hear you're at Burger King, Chipotle, whatever the fuck that is.
I'm not eating any of that.
That's what I heard. You said that Monday. You came in here during our meeting.
Here's what
you said Chipotle.
Here's what we're doing, Jason.
Chipotle.
And
Carnitas, cheese, guacamole, and a little bit of the hot salsa. This should cost you no more than about $5.50, see $5.69. Probably the 2 places that I've gone, I'd say probably every other day since starting this has been Starbucks and Chipotle. Even though my ban has been lifted from Arby's, I'm ashamed to say that I have not been there in a while. I probably would be if there was one closer. Very unfortunate. I wonder if you can franchise those motherfuckers. Chipotle, I'd say on average every other day, and it is probably by far the easiest place to go keto, the easiest restaurant, fast food place, whatever you want to call it. Besides maybe Five Guys. Five Guys is pretty good. Here we have my nice Starbucks cup, gotta get it ready to go.
Dope smokers, riddling, abusing Starbucks, video game playing, Xbox playing, porn addicts.
We're gonna go 2 tablespoons, 30 milliliters, 10 grams of fat. If you don't measure this shit, you're about to have about a gallon of heavy cream per day. I just take this cup to Starbucks, fill it up, regular coffee, good to go. These right here are probably my #1 go-to snack at the moment. Fresh from Hawaii, macadamia nuts. Macadamias are like the nuts of all nuts, pause. So you got to get them from like the black market, aka Amazon. Got these, so that's where I get these from. I think Trader Joe's has them too. I know Oak's been going to Trader Joe's lately all the time. I guess he's been on that hippie grind. These things are awesome though. I usually have like 1 or 2 servings per day. One serving is 230 calories with 25 grams of fat and only 1 net carb. Boom. We're gonna throw on one of these pre-sliced patties. Didn't have bison, very disappointed, so that is not the very best burger. It's more like a Irma burger. So here's some recent training clips. I just want to discuss how I think completely cutting out carbs for a little over 2 months has impacted my strength, how it relates to strength training, and more specifically powerlifting in general. While I wasn't squatting or deadlifting during this time period due to injury, which is kind of why I decided to make the switch to no carbs in the first place, I can speak to what I was doing and, you know, the strength there, such as pressing. So long story short, I feel like my strength dropped a lot in a short amount of time. But I'm going to tell you one reason why I think that could be slightly skewed. So right now, as I'm talking to you, it's January 11th. Since November 10th, I'm down about 32 pounds. And since then, the only real test of strength I have is pressing strength, since I'm not squatting or deadlifting. And for me, like most people, I think, you know, bench is by far the most body weight dependent lift. So while I can say with some certainty that my strength has decreased on the squat and deadlift, I just can't say to what extent. But strictly as it pertains to the gym, what I can say is that I definitely didn't have the same endurance and energy levels throughout each workout as I did on a higher carb diet. I felt myself getting really burned out like early on in a set. So on like rep 2 or 3, my muscles already felt depleted. Like I had no push left. With all that being said, there is no way I would try this type of diet like on a high volume powerlifting block or when peaking or prepping for a meet. There is just absolutely no chance. While that may seem very obvious to you, there are proponents out there who will argue to the death that fat is a better energy source than carbs. And while that may be true in some places, for some people, even some sports, maybe more endurance-based sports, for powerlifting, I just don't see that being the case for 99.9% of the powerlifting population. But this 2-month keto block definitely served its purpose for me, and I don't regret it at all. I didn't really care too much about strength in this time period. I was just sick of being an absolute fat shit and wanted to drop weight fast before, you know, picking up powerlifting again. So now as I gradually add back in carbs, I can start to build into a much leaner 220 lifter, which was the goal all along. You know, I was not a 242 lifter, way too much fat on me. And I felt like this was a necessary step to be a better power lifter down the road. Definitely the goal is to eventually become a 242 lifter, but with way better body composition as well as also being way stronger. Hope you enjoyed this video, taking off my +5 hat of weaponsmithing. See you in the next one.